Welcome to Hope Through the Hard, a curated coalition podcast where we talk honestly about life struggles and how to face them in healthy, hope-filled ways. In 2 Corinthians 4, Paul says, "We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed." That's the purpose of this space. Real conversations about the hard things in life and the hope that carries us through. Visit curatedcoalition.com to find our coaching services and book a free consultation.
Hi, I'm Levi. This is Ashley, and Lincoln's here doing production for us. And we got kid question in the smallest font he could print out. If you could know anything 5 years before anyone, what would you do with the information?
So if you could know something...
It's apparently going to happen in 5 years.
5 years? Well, I mean, I think that it depends on if it's good information, and then you let the world know that something good is going to happen. You warn them if it's bad. I don't know. It's sort of like the prophets in the Old Testament.
Right. Or if you know the stock market of what it's going to do, or if you know...
Then you know what to buy.
When your teams are going to win the Super Bowl or the World Series, and yeah, right?
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Or, yeah, is COVID 2021 going to come back again? Who knows?
Yeah. And then you can, like, have the remedy for it.
Sure.
Yeah. That'd be good. Okay. Well, today we are talking about the importance of family dinner. And I know for a lot of people, it seems like people think that having dinner together is like insignificant or that it's old fashioned.
Yes.
And we're going to kind of try to challenge that today, because I think it has been one of the most important things for our marriage, for our children, and for the legacy that we hope to pass on to them. And so today we're going to look at unpacking some statistics, some research, and then the theology behind why this is still a good idea, and why the family table still matters.
Right. Yeah. And so we always like to not just say, here's our opinion, but here's some research and why this matters. And so some key research that you found is, according to Public Medical Central, regular family meals are linked to better nutrition, healthier weight, and fewer eating disorders and behaviors in children.
Which is, like, I think that's crazy that, because and if you stop and think about it, Lovey has been on a walk today, but she's over there begging you to throw her toy. But if you think about it, if you're still having dinner, you know, every night with your children, they're guaranteed at least one solid meal.
Right.
And with, you know, healthy ingredients, you know, theoretically you would have healthier ingredients. And you're watching to make sure that they're eating something still. And so it makes sense. Like that PubMed research does make sense. Family Process Journal, UCLA researchers. So this was a study that was done by these UCLA researchers and published in Family Process Journal, which I had never heard of before. But they did some research that shows that adolescents who share a meal frequently share dinner with their family, show lower rates of substance abuse and fewer mental health problems. And that was multiple studies combined to show that. And so it's especially true in girls, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So sharing meals strongly predicts higher life satisfaction and positive effects across cultures. As we've been into different cultures and been to Mexico as well, everybody sits down and eats together. Everybody's happy. And it's cool to see whenever families come together in those different situations of cultures and how they're happy because they're spending that time together. And studies show that, yes, whenever families do, life is going to be a lot happier.
And this particular one makes me think the sharing meals, that it has an impact on life expectancy and satisfaction, makes me really think about, you know, when you have older neighbors who have had a spouse who's passed on, or they're living alone, or maybe it's like your great aunt or whatever, but she lives just around the corner, how impactful that could be on their happiness and their life if you just had them over. If you just said, hey, great Aunt Agatha, like, we're having dinner tonight. Why don't you come over? No, you don't need to bring anything. No, we're not being fancy. Just come for dinner. We'd love to have you.
Make sure it's not spicy.
Right. But just, I mean, really, that data really made me stop and think, are there people that we could be including that we aren't including?
Yeah.
And how would that change their overall happiness in their life?
Right.
So what are the benefits for children? That's the next kind of idea that we wanted to pull in. So a pediatric publication said that children who eat at least meals together with their family 3 times a week are more likely to eat vegetables and maintain a healthy weight.
We hope.
So but I mean, like, if you're counting on your kid to make dinner, what are they going to make? Right. A peanut butter and jelly, or like open a can of soup or something and dump it in, or
Lincoln's back there shaking his head no. on frozen pizza, chicken nuggets and things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's still like none of those things are vegetables unless you're buying a Supreme pizza. And our kids pick the vegetables off of Supreme pizza and just want like the pepperoni. And so your kids aren't probably, if left to their own devices, they probably aren't getting vegetables.
Yeah.
So
it also helps lower risk behaviors and mental health. Multiple studies link frequent family dinners reduce the risk of substance use, depression, self-harm, indications, and also family dinners can buffer effects of cyberbullying, which I know we have kind of talked through some of these things.
Yeah.
Because your children's able to have the times of sitting down and have regular communication time and walk through how's my day and here's some of the stuff, or you can kind of see some different triggers of what's bothered them.
Yeah, you see the red flags,
and then pour into them later on of, hey, let's talk.
Yeah, and generally, dinner seems like a little bit lower key place for them to share versus, right after school when they're still processing, or if it's happening as soon as they get out of school. Dinner time is just a good time for it to be a safe time.
Right.
And a safe place for them to share those sorts of things. Yeah. So PubMed Central again, the panel data indicates associations between family meals and improved academic and behavioral outcomes across childhood and including adolescence. So that these longitudinal analysis also suggests that family meals contribute to resilience and better school functioning. Yeah. So just all the way around, sitting down a few nights a week with your kids can greatly affect their health in a positive way.
Exactly. So we have been doing this forever. And so we decided to also ask our kids, a couple of questions is, what's one memory of a family meal that you love? Yeah. And how did it feel different than other times? Yeah. So Adeline said, when I annoy mom or we make jokes, and we do this all the time. It is her favorite because it is funny, because we're just having fun and interacting and talking.
Yeah. So I asked Addie's friend why he enjoys family dinner at our house. He's been eating with us now for about 2 years. And so he said, it's just weird and it's unserious. All the conversations are weird and unserious. And I like it because I fit in. Yeah. Like you can be weird and unserious at our family dinner.
So if you want to join our family and you're weird and not serious, you're going to fit right in.
Come on over. When I asked Link, his was funny. He said, well, when Adeline is talking to a new boy or she brings someone new over, that he really likes that, teasing her about that. He said he also enjoys being teased about girls, and he enjoys teasing Chicken about girls. And he said it's more fun because everyone joins in and teases together. Like it's It's like one lion against, like a pack of antelope, I guess. He thinks it's fun. I don't know.
Because they're homeschooled. And that's where Chicken's at as well. What he loves to do is hear Adeline stories from her school, me from my work, but then also hearing about Adeline's stories of just the stuff that's going on outside
she's a good
the home.
storyteller, and dinner time is she has a captive audience.
Oh, yes. She shares all the tea with us. And
like whatever it is she does. Yeah. So we have talked more than once about Deuteronomy 6 and 7. And it says, these commandments that I give to you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road and when you lie down and when you get up. And I think that family mealtime for us has been casual, obviously, and fun, obviously, but it's also a time for us to talk about spiritual things. On Sundays, our family lunch is about the sermon.
Right.
We are diving in, often the kids have talked about things that they've learned in school that have theological ties. And so that has been a great time for us to talk about, like, what are the things that our family values and to impress those on our children. And this is the perfect scripture for us to see that is important to God also. So,
and there's other benefits besides just to the kids of what that also goes into marriages. So for spouses, it's a major important time for teaching points and kind of give some evidence of more marital satisfaction is going to happen as we are sitting down and having meals together and talking as well. Parents who maintain a dinner time ritual, particularly during toddlers and early childhood, report satisfaction in their marriage and family life. Because you start thinking of a toddler, how much work it is to feed them. And if you're able to sit together and help each other with the different things, you're working together as a team. Or something like that. Yeah,
and I'm remembering back when our kids were toddlers, and we spaced them out intentionally, but just how, if I'm cooking dinner and then we're sitting together, and we would always put the toddler between us. And so, whether it was Adeline or Lincoln or later even Chicken, like their high chair would be between both of us. And so at least I got to eat a hot meal.
Right.
I mean, you could eat a hot meal and I could eat a hot meal because we were taking turns saying, here's your next bite, kid, like whichever one of them it was. And then, we would clean up together.
Right.
And then it was straight to the bath because chances were really high that kid was covered in whatever we just had for dinner. And so they just went straight to the bath, and it was teamwork. And so, of course, marital satisfaction is going to be higher when you're working together. I mean, that just makes sense. So, so conversation and connection is also a really important thing. There's something going on outside our window, and the dog is confused, and I keep seeing flashing lights, and that's okay. So conversation and connection. Regular family meals often create a low stakes time to check in, to debrief, and to then coordinate. If you're all sitting down together, it's a good time for spouses to say, okay, so tomorrow I'm picking this kid up and you're going to take this kid here. And so you can coordinate those schedules. Or I have this meeting early. Can you help by getting this child up and around or whatever? And it reduces conflict, I think, and it keeps it from escalating into a huge situation when you don't prepare the schedule in advance and things aren't talked out and things aren't planned. And again, it's teamwork. When you're working together as a team, you're going to have higher satisfaction in your marriage.
Yeah.
So,
and that's a time for couples to have discussions. What is some rhythms? What are some spots in your life of where life does get busy? What rhythms do you want to continue to have? And what are some must protect situations that you want to really pour into and discuss. And so for me, Saturdays are super busy as we do breakfast. Sundays are busy as we do lunch. But so some of the weekends are super busy of what we're constantly doing. And when we say, hey, this is going to be our meal today.
Yeah.
And so Saturday morning breakfast, a lot of times it'll be that. Sunday lunch after church, and then it gives us a time to debrief and go through all of the stuff. But then during the week, it's mostly dinner time. But I know whenever we have had different rules of boys had ball games or Adeline had school stuff, we would still go out and eat. But anytime we ever did that, we also said, hey, no phones. This is a time to talk. This is a time for us to say, hey, this is this, and this is a no bending rule in that.
Yeah.
In that rhythm.
Yeah. And for me, I think dinner time is important.
Yep.
Like that is just an important time of the day for me. So I'm pretty protective of it. I'm open to the kids bringing friends.
Right.
Like do that. And if I know in advance that it's going to be a busy night, then I will intentionally choose something that's quick or easy for me to make. Or throw it in the Instant Pot so I can if we're going to be gone, but I know when we get home from something that everyone's going to want to eat, then it's in the Instant Pot and it's ready. Like a quick soup or something like that is easy to do. I'm also I think it's important that if you are going to try to implement family dinners, it's important to try to meal plan.
Right.
Just here are the things that we're going to have this week. And okay, this kid has something on Wednesday. And so Wednesday is going to be something I have to, throw together pretty quickly. Great. Tacos, nachos, whatever. You're still getting protein. You're still getting vegetables. Great. But it's quick. So I do that. I also tonight we moved a meal around to accommodate something exciting that was happening. We wanted to have a celebration dinner. And so we were supposed to have tomato soup and grilled ham and cheese sandwiches. That's not really a celebration meal. And so I'm like, that can go to next week. We have all of the ingredients for it.
Correct.
I will just add that to next week's menu. It's fine. So at least there's a meal available, and you can have it if you want to have it, and you can move it if you want to move it.
Because there can be some flexibility.
Yeah.
But with some of that flexibility, what are some of the pinpoint things of, hey, this is not going to budge. We're still going to do this time without phones. We're still going to do this time to be able to ask a set question everybody gets to answer. And because this builds a legacy, a family legacy that will continue. And it's cool to see how a family can come together and sit here and do this. And then that continues on. So watch that. And there's studies showing that how important of how the next steps of how a kid grew up eating meals together and how that continued over into their family whenever they got married and started having kids and just continues the legacy. How important that is.
I mean, that's true for me, for sure. We had family dinner. There was a TV in the kitchen, but we had family dinner. My mom would make dinner. Often my brother or I would start dinner, whether it was browning the ground beef or whatever, we would start the dinner and my mom would finish it. And we would all eat together. Yep. And so that I knew when we got married that was important for me. I didn't want to be a on the couch TV tray zombie dinner time family thing.
Right.
That didn't appeal to me.
Right.
And you didn't really seem to care one way or another. You were like, okay, that's okay, but I still want to watch the game. And I'm like, no, the game will be there.
Sure.
So,
and there's times where we have still watched the games and done things, but it's kind of building a legacy. It's fun to do those set things because then it also becomes, here's our ritual, and then it creates some memories of some special extra things of, hey, we're a little bit flexible. Yeah. How cool it is that we can make that memory.
Well, and the kids just recently were talking about when we lived in Missouri that there were times, I guess, maybe like weeknights or whatever, but Chipotle was one of the few places that I could eat out, because I have food allergies. And so it was one of the few places that I could eat out and not get sick. And so we would get Chipotle, and the kids had like these little trays, and they would sit and they could watch a movie. And they still talk about that being, I think they called it a core memory. Like those are core childhood memories for them. They loved that because it was different.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And when we share our children's favorite parts of the family dinner, none of the favorites were always about the food or setting the table. It's about the memories that we created with conversations, with jokes, or something that funny happened with the food. I know Adeline fixed a meal one time, and
oh gosh,
and we all still tell the story of it.
Yeah.
And because she's learning how to cook, which is a great thing.
She was very
to be able
young,
to do.
and she didn't know the difference between an uppercase T and a lowercase t, the difference between teaspoons and tablespoons. And she was making something. We had a guest over too.
It's all good. And that's easy to fix in some of those meals.
Yeah.
But that's some of the core things of here's this legacy, created some core memories that's going to continue on into their
and
families.
she's she is an excellent, she can bake so well.
Oh, yeah.
Like she loves to do that. But that was just, I don't want her to think that we're ratting on her cooking, because she does a great job.
She does a great job.
But
and it's easy things to fix too. It's a learning experience to be able to learn, okay, she's not going to do that again.
Yeah, she'll never make that mistake again.
How many times have we messed up on the meals?
Oh, yeah. And everybody just has to eat it. And I'm like, sorry, guys.
I have to eat it.
Yes. Yeah, there's definitely one story when we were dating that was horrible. It was bad. But yeah, and part of that, the legacy idea, there were a lot of nights when Adeline was still in high school that she would turn down social events because she didn't want to miss dinner.
Right.
She just would have preferred to come home, and that was an important time for her. She would invite her friends to come over, but she didn't want to be out and miss dinner time. And some of that has changed now that she's in college, and she's, she'll go out with her friends, and, she'll miss dinner. She has to work now, but that was an important time for her. And our kids will say that most of their friends don't have family dinner. And so when their friends join us, they're often sort of deer in the headlights, like we sit down at the table. We have to talk. Do we talk to your parents? Or
we're praying and, hey, don't be eating yet. And
and there's been several times that I will just say, like, phone up. Like it doesn't matter if you're new at our table or not. Put your phone up. But almost everyone who joins us says that they appreciate the opportunity for fellowship.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, question to consider: what is one dinner tradition do you want your kids to remember as you pass on? What's one of yours?
I just want them to have family dinners. Like I want the boys to say, like, to their future wife, like, that's important for me.
Yeah.
Like whether it was something that your family did or not, this is important. I see the benefit in it. I would like for us to do it.
Yeah.
So I would love for them to remember the funnies and the sillies and the happiness. I want them to remember that it doesn't have to be a huge deal. If everyone works together, you can do it in a pretty reasonable amount of time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For me, it's making sure they take the time to connect with each other because we're all so busy. Phones are always out and nobody connects face to face, having a conversation, using real words and sometimes adult words of big kid stuff and having conversations. So taking that time specifically, whatever time it is, whether it's breakfast or lunch or dinner.
Or even just a coffee time.
Right. Yeah. And meet together and talk.
Yeah. So practically, how do you do this? What are the action steps? What are the things that are necessary if you are going to be brave and try to implement a dinner time with your family? Frequency. It's about doing it over and over again. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just having dinner together. Start with 2 or 3 nights a week.
Right.
That would be a great place to start. If you're like, this sounds great. I hear the research. I hear that it's good for me. I hear that it's good for my spouse. I hear that it's good for my kids. That's overwhelming. 2 nights a week. Yeah. Just try it. Try it 2 nights a week. The research shows that that's beneficial, even at a moderate frequency, like 2 to 3 nights a week. There is, in fact, nothing perfect about our dinners. Like nothing.
No. And if it was, that'd be weird.
Yeah, it would be weird. Like it would be. So one of the things that we do, like I said, is we make a menu. Mm-hmm. We do it on Sunday. And we've been doing it like this for 15 years, probably, maybe longer than that. Yeah, and we just say, we aim for not having the same type of meat 2 nights in a row. So we'll do a rotation. Right. Our kids don't love any other kind of red meat other than ground beef. So it's something with ground beef, something with chicken. If we can do a pork, that's fine. And then we obviously try to do a fish every week. Mm-hmm. We plan a menu. Yeah. And that makes it so much easier. I also let the kids tell me what they name a meal. Right. You tell me what you want. Lincoln, it's pretty easy it's either fajitas or red beans and rice. He's happy with those. Chicken likes favorite white soup. And so it's okay, now pick something else because we just had that. Yes. But the idea there is that you're not going to like everything on the menu that week. Nope. That's okay. Right. There's nights that I don't like what's on the menu. And yes. I have to cook it and I have to eat it because someone else requested it. Yep. And so that's part of how we make it fair. Mm-hmm. You might not like it tonight, but don't worry. We just had something you liked, or you Correct. Will have something that you like later on in the week. Yeah. Don't get your undies in a bunch. Something that you like is on the menu also. It'll be okay. So on any given night, there's probably a disagreement at our dinner table.
We have kids, yes.
Right. and that's okay. Right. You are either actively practicing conflict resolution or you are watching someone
right.
Have practice.
The conversations, work right. it out, not just scream, walk away and leave.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
No. We often have discussions that include hard situations mm-hmm. from the day. And I mentioned this earlier. It might be a question that they saw somewhere along the way in the day about religion or politics or, any one of those things. And those were banned concepts I remember going to my grandparents and we don't talk about religion or politics. And I'm we talk about religion and politics every single night.
Pretty much. One of them.
Yeah. Oh, and often both. Yeah. And so it's not picture perfect. We are not a Norman Rockwell dinner time painting. That's not what you're going to see. It's right. just 5 or 6 real people sitting down, having a meal together every night. Right. Or most nights. Yeah. So we aim for frequency and there is nothing perfect about it at all. Nope. And it strengthens our family. And it gives everyone an opportunity to participate and discuss and to grow.
Yeah. So one of the things we kind of talked about, the ritual of putting the phones down. The earlier you start this with your kids, the easier this mm-hmm. is going to be. So if you're I've got teenagers and we're just now starting this, okay, try 15 minutes without a phone, especially if it's just here we are just stuck. Or go to Amazon and you can buy a box that you can throw the phones in there and lock it up for an hour and then they can't do anything about it. And so that's one way of saying, how do I work into this? Sometimes if you've already got the kids and that's just a thing with it, but it also starts with you mm-hmm. as the parents is putting your phone away, not answering it. Even sometimes it's hard because if it's work and things like that, it's hard to not answer those depending on your job. But that's something of, find a ritual of something, this is what we're going to hold to, and here's what we're going to do. The other part's sharing the load. We try to make sure that somebody is doing one part of either cooking or cleaning or whatever it might be. So somebody's loading the dishwasher. Somebody's chore is to wipe down all the counters afterwards. Somebody's chore is to put the food away, take the trash out. And that's kind of our routine of here's what's going on. And your kids need to learn how to cook. That's a part that they can jump in, and something that we've talked about, haven't implemented fully all the time.
Yeah.
Because we like to eat good food. Is have your kids jump in. And our kids do at times.
Yeah.
They do jump in
to
help cook or prep or whatever it might be. And so have your kids be a part of the whole situation from the start to the end.
Yeah.
Yes, picking out their favorite meals at the beginning is great, because then also, hey, cook your favorite meal.
Yeah.
You enjoy it so much, cook it.
Yeah. One of the things that I thought was an interesting idea is like a conversation prompt. That is not something that we have ever needed, because we started family dinners before we had kids. Right. And so they just kind of, all three of them just grew up participating in whatever the discussion was that was happening around the table.
Yep.
They lead the discussion. But if this is new,
right,
there are conversation prompts. You can get like a box of them on Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
There are old school like blog posts that have conversation prompts. There are also YouTube videos where you can just kind of jot down some ideas. So it depends on if that's like something you want to invest in, conversation prompts. There are those sorts of things available on Amazon to buy, or you can, find some ideas on YouTube or wherever. Right. So that is also an option. It's also totally okay to be flexible.
Yes.
There is nothing wrong with having, your family dinner at a picnic,
right,
at the park, at a picnic table. There's nothing wrong with having it in the living room. Just be actively participating with your children in some kind of conversation. That's the part that's important.
Right.
And it doesn't, like you said earlier, it doesn't matter if you eat out or we're still having conversation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So for you all, the challenge is to pick one evening to eat together. No phones, and one question for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then report back. Let us know, because we're interested of how others eat. Family dinners, lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever meal that you're having together. We are interested because we want to know more ideas of what we can do to improve, and for you to share your ideas of what has worked, what hasn't worked, is great information to share. I think we together can help everybody with the different things of what they might like. And so I challenge you, take a meal, take a time, and do that this week.
And if you're a seasoned family, if you've been doing this for a long time, come up with a new idea.
Right.
I had a friend text me about a month ago and say, let's do a supper club. And I'm like, that sounds really fun. Like, okay, great.
Right.
And we talked about it yesterday, and it's like, okay, do we want our husbands to come? Like, do we want to do kids? No. Like, so you can come up with new ideas around your dinner table too, new people to include and new ways to build in deeper connection and deeper relationship with other people. So if you're a seasoned person with family dinners, how can you change it up? How can you mix it up? Who else can you include? Right. Who else can you build into and pour into during that time? That might be, a fun question.
So good mentoring time as well.
Yeah.
To mentor to somebody else that having lunch or whatever it might be. We'd had that in college.
Yeah. And it was super important. So you can find more hope, more healing, more information on our channel. You can subscribe, share with a friend or a family who is maybe feeling a little bit alone or needs an idea about how to even get started on having family dinners, or they're looking for a way to find hope or connection. Just send them to our channel.
Yeah, send them to our channel. Or if you or somebody you know needs some help walking through some hard times that's happening in family or in life. We also do life coaching, which you can go to our website at curatedcoalition.com and book a free session today.
Yeah. So we also have a menu for 3 meals. So we said aim for 2 to 3 nights. So we have a menu that gives you 3 meals. It's linked in the show notes. So you could check that out and let us know how it goes. Let us know what your family meal wins and fails are. Maybe you let a kid help and it didn't go too good. That's okay too.
Yep.
It's a learning experience. So Colossians 3, verses 12 to 14 said, put on then as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience, bearing with one another. And if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other as the Lord has forgiven you, you also must forgive. Above all, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. And the peace of God, which rules in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in one body, and be thankful. And so I think that, family meals are the perfect opportunity for us to clothe ourselves in humility and in kindness and in compassion. And it's a great place for you to start practicing forgiveness and thankfulness.
Yeah.
So that's it. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us for today's conversation. My hope is that you leave here reminded that whatever you're facing, you're not crushed, abandoned, or destroyed. That's the promise of 2 Corinthians 4:8 and 9 and the heartbeat of hope through the hard. Visit curatedcoalition.com for all of our coaching services or to book your free consultation. We'll see you next time.